Well, hello there. Get comfortable in your chair. I'm Reddick Preacher, also known as Laney. For those of you that are just tuning in, this is your first time. We call this The Porch. It is a conscious church for a conscious people. And I'm an awakened preacher and prophet. And we came from spirit, not the book, not seminary, not schooling. I schooled with the Lord for 7 great years. And still am every single day, but I bring that mana, that knowledge, my life experience, the stories, and the Udu tales. I bring them here to you and on the porch. Hopefully, we just get to come as we are, because that's what the man said. So there we go, living out loud. Let's get riding. Want to talk about the devil in disguise? We know the devil doesn't just show up as himself. If he did, we would definitely see that and go, ooh, there you are, devil, get out of here. The devil in disguise is a saying because the devil always has to dress up to enter the room. This is true for narcissists. If you ever dealt with a narcissist, it's much like the devil because the devil is the first narcissist ever born. He's OG. All narcissism came from the loin of the devil, and the devil himself is energy. He's energetic, and he's the energy of narcissism. Self-love to the point they'll drown in their own damn reflection. So, now that we are starting to learn this, let's chug. Toot, toot. Move along. Here comes the thought train. The devil has to dress up. Me being a prophet, when you're a prophet, you're a watcher on the wall. When you're a watcher on the wall, you're a prophet. I learned about these two separate and learned that if you're one, you're the other, and if you're the other, then you're one. So you cannot be a prophet if you're not a watchman on the wall. That comes first. You learn to spot the devil by experiencing the devil in your own life. So you know where it's at, how they talk, how they speak, how they walk. And you can point him out for other people, or you can point him out for yourself in your own life so you can steer clear of that demon and devil, right? Narcissistic relationships be teaching. So, at a global scale, energetically, because relationships are energetic, yes? Exchange of energy, yeah? Isn't that what money is for services, goods, and time, and your time? It's an exchange. We don't want to do shit for free because we need an exchange of energy, right? So, the globe is in a huge love affair with narcissism. The devil himself is putting his mist and smoke all over the world, and we could feel it. And that mist and smoke is tyranny. I'm on the other side of the creek. We say tyranny. So, tyranny, removal of your rights, removal of your own freedoms, your personal freedoms, and your God-given rights. And when that starts to happen, the devil's in town, the devil's on the prowl, and he's about to get into the garden. And that is true for every single nation on this globe. But it's true now. Very much true for America. So, as a prophet, I don't bring anything you don't know. I'm just here to wholly verify. So, Jesus told me just a few nights ago he's been working with me, and I've been missing that because it's high tide, low tide, and I haven't heard, strictly from the Spirit in a long time. And Jesus has been messing around here in my living room and kitchen for the last 3 days, and I've been having my ears on, and it's why I have the porch, because my job is to turn around and give it back to you. So, this might be a long one, might be a short one, but we got to empty my head out, right? What he was allowing me to know is that America has a snake in the garden. And back then, when Pharaoh and Moses each had a snake, if you had just walked in the room, you'd have no idea what snake was which if you just walked in the room, right? So it's funny how the Lord fought a snake with a snake back then, and it devoured it. It ate itself. I'm learning that a symbol, as a snake that eats its own tail, is called Ouroboros, if I mispronounced it. It really is an ancient symbol that goes all the way back to ancient whatnots. It's on your grandma's brooch, it's on jewelry, and we say, why do we see the snake eating its own tail? When you see the snake eating its own tail, it's usually in the form of an infinity symbol. And that's what's it denotes. Even in Christianity, the snake eating its own tail is infinity. It is the infinity symbol. And to me, I use the infinity symbol right here on the porch, and I did so for reason. Because my A-team, my spirit guides, Holy Jesus told me to run with this. This is your brand. This is what you do. This is the flag you carry. This is the symbol on the flag. Why? Because we're all a golden thread. DNA, we are all connected. All of us. And we're just now waking up to this. So we're all a part of this intricate woven design, this tapestry that is humankind. And we're waking up to that. So that's why the porch carries the infinity symbol. When you break it down, the infinity symbol was a snake eating itself. My A-team had brought to me just in the last 3 days this image, and I saw it here, I saw it there, and I saw it everywhere. You know how it is when the numbers come through, and you know how it is when things that you need to hear keep coming through. And then you listen, and you raise up an eyebrow, and you start to pay attention to the holy language that's going around you, because that's the cliff notes to your life. And we're here on the porch, and you're here also in your own spiritual journey to learn those gifts and trust them, because the real is in those on your face. And so what I wanted to point out was the devil in disguise. He's here. The devil is already on the land. But the great thing is God is on the land too. And he's been here in seated form, but he's been really here in the last 7 years. And I know this because 1111-555-888-777 did not create a living, alive church out there all talking the same language of love. It's a love language we learn, a language of light and love that we're talking. Nobody else says micro, macro, unless you've been on the Holy Curriculum Trail. Nobody talks this way except for us, and that's because we were raised in the Spirit. While we were living in our little holy hermitage and our hermits and being little shut-ins in our lives for the past 3, 5 to 7 years. And if I'm talking to you, stand up and say, hey, amen. Because I'm one, and I know that reflection is energy. We're all mirrors of each other. So I know that what I've been doing, you've been doing. Or else you wouldn't have found your ass right here on the porch with the affinity symbol. It means something to you. We've learned on a holy curriculum, like mayflies. Mayflies are underneath the river water for 3 to 5 years before mayflies all come up together to mate. That's what mayflies do. God told me a long time ago, these twin flames, these 1111 seekers, and these shamans, these light bringers, these lighthouses, all live you underneath the great call. We're mayflies, baby. We've been in gestation for 3, 5, 7 years, and now it's time to come up together. We come up together that way because it's better for us to move in mass than it is to move one at a time. They'll strike and get us. The snakes, the birds, the fish, they'll get us. So when mayflies come up together, they come up in mass because we're going to live. You know what I'm saying? We come up together for protection. So we were brought here by the damn numbers. Let's show up in numbers. It's not about let me get a YouTube channel and get all the numbers in the world. We are the numbers, and right now we got bigger fish than fry than how many numbers we got on our Facebook page or Instagram likes or follows. We need us to be in mass now, in great number. We got here on numbers in that great Alpha Omega, wrap it up full circle. That's a snake eating its own tail. And what does that look like? Infinity symbol or a wedding ring? I don't care how you draw a snake eating its own tail. You still get God. You still get centrifugal circles, God. These are God's fingerprints everywhere. And you know what that symbol means? It actually means rebirth, cyclic rebirth, death, life, rebirth. That's 1, 2, 3 Trinity. What is Jesus and what is God? What is Mary? What is heaven about? We'll take that for 500. It's about rebirth. And right now, America's going to go through a great death, a great little separation here. We're going to go through a crash. God's not going to come down here and save us from our own shit. We need to go through our own shit, and that's how we're going to love Jesus even more when we get through it. We're going to be reconnected with God. Because we're going to need him to go with us where we're going, So what I'm speaking of is, there's a lot of things going on in my little holy head. Ooh, it's like fun up there. Anyway, we're being called out in great numbers here. And now is the time. And when you know this, you watch the news. I don't even have to do it. All right? You don't have to sit here and light up Facebook's algorithms to tell you why that your voice matters, your backbone matters, your straight shoulders matter, and your feet matter. And I sure in hell wouldn't be coming to you from your hometown, Bartlesville, Oklahoma, or coming to you from Macon, Georgia. A mother of 3. I'm sitting here with a spiritual mantle going, you guys, guess what? God's already been here in living energy. Jesus is back. He's been back. He's been living inside of me. He's been teaching me in my house, a living room, garage. He's been teaching people in Papua New Guinea. He's been teaching you in your living room, garage, and kitchen. You know this to be true. You're learning how to talk to God. You hear him too. I'm not the only one. God's alive. Jesus is alive. The Spirit is alive, and it's alive in us, and we're reflecting that light everywhere we go. And that's why when we shine big enough, all of a sudden the world's in this no more bullshit mode. No bullshit. And we're dumping bullshit. Epstein, Weinstein, oh my gosh, Stein. We're everybody but the Bernsteins, We're dumping bullshit. And we're actually living in our authenticity. We're teaching the truth. We're preaching the truth. We're standing in truth. We're living in truth. When the hell did this start happening? When Jesus showed up, at least, and I can say with my own mouth, 7 years ago, and started changing not only me, but millions of other people in the world. And really, he was asking us to dance. He was asking us to put on the dress, male or female. He was asking you to be his bride. Will you dance with me? I said yes. And I'm still on this tear. I'm still on this journey. because I said yes to the dress. That's funny because when I said yes, a whole bunch of other people all around the globe said yes. So much, in fact, that you could type in 1111 and your computer will explode. Okay? I didn't do that. That's God's spiritual energy talking through numbers, because numbers are black and white and they're irrefutable. My language is, I can text you right now and you can get the wrong tone. My text can even be debatable. That's why the Bible's so debatable, and this is debatable. Guess what you can't debate? 1111 in the shower, 1111 on your clock stove, 555 on your receipt, 888 on a license plate. You cannot refute that. Even Einstein himself will be scratching his head for the stuff that the people on the spiritual journey are going through. We are blowing quantum physics out of the water, and nobody knows it. It's crazy, right? It's for purpose and for reason and for merit. Did you know that when you got on this journey, it wasn't about you and a wedding cake and somebody else's husband or wife? Did you know this wasn't just a sappy love story for you to go, oh, shucks, I got a cool t-shirt at the end, twin flame check? You know? This was more to that than this. This was to epically change you from the inside out like DNA. You know, annealing. Annealing is a great word that I was taught. You know, I didn't know I was going to do this, but annealing is a great word that I was taught through heaven. If you look it up, annealing, go have fun with that one, because annealing it has roots in religion and Christianity and anything that is of God. And annealing is actually giving someone the blessing, putting a cross on their forehead in oil. It's in the unction of dying is what that means. Jesus taught me this himself. He used a couple of books. The only books I ever have out is a dictionary and a Bible, and I walk with that. If you ever throw me down in a well, throw down the Bible and a dictionary, and I'll be fine. So Jesus told me about the word annealing. Jesus was annealed when he was put in the tomb. He was annealed. There was someone there. I don't read the Bible all the time, so somebody out there knows the name. Somebody annealed him, put a cross on his forehead in the unction of dying. But annealing is also a quantum physics word that Stephen Hawking would recognize, because actually annealing is heating up your DNA to the point of some kind of crazy temperature, layman speak, where it reconstructs your DNA. Reconstruction. Tell me that ain't the work of the Lord. The magic of Jesus Christ. The great mystery to the Navajo, to the Lakota. You know? Isn't that great? Dad to me. So what I'm saying here is that we've been under a great alchemy of Jesus Christ now for 7 years. And it was bigger than just love stories, broken hearts, and wedding cakes, okay? What we're doing here is we're in perfect alchemy right here, right now. And whether you're watching me all over the world or you're watching me right here from America, America is sick. There's a distress call. And we're speaking a weird language. It sounds like, let's go, Brandon. But, you know, when you break that down, you know what I hear? We need help. And it wasn't just a couple weeks ago they were screaming, somebody help from the southern border. Somebody stand up for us. Somebody. And I made a video on the porch just like 5 days ago that said, I will be your official somebody. Why? What makes me valid? Well, I'm walking with Jesus, got a number 1111. It's like a bat symbol out in the middle of the world. There's 1 million people behind me, trained up in Christ, an army of love and light just like me. You know? So, it's our time to call right now. It is our time to call. Stand up and stand with me. And I might be a little voice right now, but I'm going to keep repeating it, keep saying the same thing. Because we are needed. And nobody sees bullshit like us. You know? All right? So you keep that pure energy, and that's what I hope to do. And what I wanted to also, I'm going to segue into this other second part too, because this is a little more lengthy than I wanted it to be. But I wanted to talk about the colors red and blue, and how those same colors are the colors that divide our political parties, but yet red and blue are the same colors that unionize us on that flag. Isn't that ironic? And I want to talk about that in a little bit of a prophetic way, part 2. So we're talking about the colors red and blue, and we're going to talk about the great revelation and the great revolution that is simultaneously happening to us. And I know that I've been born and bred and water fed for excitement in my life, so I'm taking off, and I wanted to be on the edge of this revolution. You can smell it coming, you can hear it coming, and it really is calling my name. So I'm up out there in the streets helping with this revolution. I told you guys I wanted to put up a so-called spiritual holy haberdashery at the fork of the river. And the fork of the river is the wheat and the chaff. The fork in the river is the sheep and the goat. The fork in the river is the narcissist and the empath. The fork in the river is Democrats and Republicans. The fork in the river is vaccinated, unvaccinated, black or white, poor. No, it doesn't matter. We're gonna directly separate the way the Lord said in the Bible. We're gonna directly separate the way that we've been smelling, that we've been in separation. We've had cracks and fissures, and we're splitting apart. We're not the great United States of America. We're the great separated States of America, and that's because we're going through a damn holy demolition. And for those of us that know about that, it's time for us to speak about that, to guide the rest of the world through this crash, because we're not going to stop it. We can help guide you through it. And for those things that we laughed about back in the day and we mocked and burned at stakes and we made fun of in the 1990s, you know what's going to be needed now? Spiritual mechanics. You know what a spiritual mechanic is? That's a prophet. That's someone who can purely talk through and to God, because we all have that gift. You just need to grab a book or grab a preacher, an awakened preacher, and you'll learn it. It was hidden from us from a long damn time, and a lot of us understand that we're all prophets. We all can receive the language of love and light. It talks to us all, and that's wonderful, and I call that my dad. So, anyway, the sickness in America, yes. Distress call that we have is sickness and a distress, and separation and all of that. We're gonna go through it, and weird enough, the sitting president said back when he was debating with Trump that there was going to be a dark winter. And it's like, how'd you know that? Did you get it? And, and that in a way is narcissistic people. They tell the truth. We're cocky people. They put the truth in the room and nobody else really knows it's truth, but that person does. I know that a few people, you guys might have known people like that or healed yourself from being a person like that. But you can easily see it in the sitting president, 8 months ago or so when he was like, there's going to be a dark winter. What's that you saying? Why does that stick out and just get set over here? Like, I need to look at that later. So we are coming into a dark winter. Stay close to the porch. I do get holy revelations. And rather you believe me or not, you need to believe God. And back in the day when he had 12 to 11 good people around him, if God spoke to one of those 11 and one went to the rest, they all believed it. None of them really had to go back and ask God, did you really say that? And a lot of us have to, did mom really tell you that? I'm going to go ask mom myself. God, Jesus, interchange it all. Jesus, when he had disciples, he had just a few, barely a dozen. One of them betrayed him, right? A couple few, and one of them doubted him. So he only had, I would say, just a handful of people that believed in him. And where he told one, the 10 believed. And, God's doing it. It's a massive rerun, you guys. We in a massive holy rerun. History's repeating itself. The Bible's coming true. We're a great cyclic circle. And God runs the centrifugal circles. Hello, Tesla 369. You learned this in your classrooms too. What was that? Back freshman year walking with God? So, we can understand this all accumulates together. And even the flag, the Gadsden flag that you see that's yellow and has a rattlesnake on it, it says, don't tread on me. I did a sermon about 9-10 months ago because God told me about that too. It was actually Easter evening, the evening prior to Easter, that God brought up the don't tread on me flag. And I was sitting on my couch, receiving with nothing around me, not even the Bible, the dictionary. And I received it in front of a living witness, and it took about 2 or 3 hours. And then I turned around and came and brought it to you guys, put it in a little video and stuck it up on YouTube where it still sits. And there's just something amazing to say, because don't tread on me actually breaks down to nala me tangere. Man, I'm from Bartlesville, Oklahoma. Lainey doesn't talk in nala me tangere, but you know where I learned it? Jesus Christ. I heard it in my head. I had to stop and listen, and I heard it in my head, and then I would repeat it. I literally learned from a living spirit. Pineal gland, wake it up, y'all. To contact the heaven, it's your walkie-talkie to heaven. All right? Heaven existing inside of us, not up there. And it's not like hell's down there. Hell's around us, These energies are they're constant all the time. Okay? All the time. And, that just goes to, side note, dirt road, that just goes to show you that things aren't linear. Heaven is not some far out court date that you're going to go to when you die. Heaven actually can be created right where you sit right now. I'm living proof of that, and there's a million other people who got on the spiritual path of 1111 that can sit there and tell you, yes, they've been trained in spirit to create heaven right where they sit, right from in here. And heaven's just inside God's heart. What is God? God is love, and love is God. Wow, blowing your mind, I hope. And the devil, he's energy too. It's not like the devil is some far out certain court date that we have to have when we're bad. I'll deal with that when I die, It's not a faraway court date. And if we do that, we think that it's linear. And really, hell, it surrounds us. Have you been out in the world lately? There's a huge narcissistic energy out there that's called tyranny and oppression. And it's not just our continent fighting it. It's all of our brother and sister continent fighting in the same energy. This energy of the demon. Ugh. Devil playing masquerade ball. He dressing up again. What'd he dress up like this time, Laney? Oh, I got my watchman on the walls and I'm a prophet. I could see this. I see a narcissist dressed up as COVID with another, and you pull that, oh, it's the devil. It's the devil. How do you know it's the devil? Look what he's doing all over the world. Look what he's doing to America. He's dividing us from within. He's dissolving our rights, our Constitution, as if they're just a piece of paper. And you guys know this to be true because it's literally happening. So rather, you're not crazy anymore. You can go ahead and come out of your cave. You're not crazy no more. You know, are we in end times? Yup. Are we living out Revelations? Yup. Right? So we all have horses to ride. Why do you think there's a great awakening that came right before the great resignation, and then it's going to come right before the great revelation? You know, because America is sitting on the top of let's roll the dice. Either we're going to have a civil war or we're going to have a revolutionary war. And you know that we're sitting on it. If you didn't know, I'm here to tell you. So I'm going to segue this into part 2. I'm going to go refresh my coffee, and we're going to get right back on this. It's exciting. Do leave comments and stuff and talk to me. Let me know how you're feeling. But this is the truth, or I wouldn't be allowed to bring it to you. Amen. I know I look like another little talking head, but you weren't there for the last 7 years. And I tell you what, God did a damn good job knocking off my ego and keeping the message pure within me. I'm not going to sit here and be like, it's aliens from another planet. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's Egyptians come alive. You know, we have mentors. You know, spirit guides come around and mentor you. Mine particularly were Paul, Moses. They were the first 2 that showed up after Jesus. After that was Mary Magdalene, and I've had a couple people from history. I'm not saying they showed up in my living room. You get a book. You hear it on the radio. You see it on a billboard. Somebody mentions Maya Angelou for the 3rd time in a week. You go and you roll around in the archetype that they were, and you learn from that. And I'm sure you have living perspective on how Moses felt when he got kicked out of Egypt. Did you get kicked out of your family? I did. Well, see, that works out. You get spiritual guides and mentors, you know. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the reincarnated anything, you know, especially when it doesn't, you know, when it comes to holy biblical characters. So I'm not going to say that other people are wrong. I'm just not going to do that here on the porch. I can't mislead you. Yes, this message is here. Yes, this energy is here. God is living and his spirit is living and he's here and you can see that in reflection of us. And now you see the devil show up, and the devil is narcissistic energy. It's the energy out here that's taking the rights away from the people and using COVID as a mask way to do it, literally. So when you see the devil as a watchman on the wall, you can point it out, because the devil in disguise. Who did he dress up like this time? B. Arthur? No. Who did the devil dress up like this time? He dressed up like COVID and vaccinations and tyranny and oppression, and that'll rip our rights, and that's going to divide us. It's done nothing but give us bad medicine. You know, our physical bodies may not be dying, but we're dying. We're being poisoned as a nation, because what we built our nation on is dissolving underneath our feet. Have you seen Australia from here? They got it really bad. It's like the Gestapo came back to life, and it's now like, you know, living in Australia. These are hard times, and these are going to be harder times for our children, and there ain't no more. I'm going to put it like this, because y'all know me to be frank and a little curt sometimes, but ain't no more bullshitting around. This is serious. Newsflash, boop, boop, PSA. If you needed somebody to say it, that's why I'm the official somebody. I just said it. Anyway, join me in about 20 minutes. Bring your friends if you'd like. Share this video. It's not about me. It's about the message. And the more people that hear it, or the more people that can prepare for it. I'm an Oklahoma girl. I just told you that. I spent most of my life growing up in Tornado Alley. And the best thing about that is I can never, ever, ever stop those tornadoes that came through. I even survived that one that everybody knows about, you know, back in 2000 and was a 2015, 14? No, back up 2012. Tornado 2009 had to be, because my baby was a baby. But there was a big OS F5 that ripped through Moore, Oklahoma about 5 to 7 years ago, and I was right in the direct path of that. And people's like, oh, I was there. No, I really was. Check my address. I really was. I lived at the tail end of Moore, and there's a scar on the earth, and I lived right on the end of that birth scar. That tornado's thrown down in Oklahoma, and I lived right in Tornado Alley my entire life. Could I stop those tornadoes? Nope. A lot of time when I was a girl, I'd be crying and praying. I'd be telling God, stop the tornadoes. I always wondered why God didn't stop the tornadoes. He didn't stop the tornadoes. That's fine. But what he did do is he told me they were coming. He told everybody they were coming. You could tell by the way that the clouds were. You could tell by the change in the wind, the color of the leaves. You know, you get the signs that there's a storm coming. So I couldn't stop the tornadoes, but then I could be warned about them. And being forewarned is just as good as anything, because if you can't stop it, the best thing is to be forewarned. And God told us he was coming back. Play like we were scared. We are ready. What did you do with your talents? 1, 2, 3. What did you do? If God came down here now and took an account, what did you do with this energy that he's put on this earth? Did you shake your head and say, no, that's crazy, that's too spiritual, that's pagan, it scares me, and run away? Because this isn't. This holy path of curriculum, this spiritual path I'm speaking of, that has the numbers and the serendipity, and God's talking to me through song. How did we all get here on this big old boat? It's like somebody made an ark and we all just got in. I made a porch, get on. You know why? Because God's going to knock the churches down too, because there's like fake preachers like Joel Osteen messing around with $90 million a year and only giving $1.1 million to charity. Are you kidding? What kind of crap is that? I'll get him out here and get him on the porch because I got some questions to ask. So really calling the world out. And if nobody's policed the churches, I'm about to go do that because I'm red dirt preacher. God made me, not the world. And nobody's checked the churches before. It's like we were too scared. Oh, I'm too scared. We can't check the church. Go check the churches. It's time to check them. It's time to check them. It's time to hold them up to the light. How do you tell if something's counterfeit? Pull a $100 bill out of your pocket or a 50 and hold it up to the light. That's when you see the watermark. Amen. How do you think God's going to know his own people? By God, he's going to hold you up to the light and he wants to see your watermark. That is a real bill. So I'd like to hold up a lot of these world's churches. I start down here at the end of my street, at the end of Walgreens, where they've got like at least 5 acres of empty, pretty land, not 5 to 9 acres, that they don't do anything with, but they pay a groundskeeper. Why don't they have a garden there? Because we're going to go through a dark winter, say so with our own sitting president. And if you should be growing vegetables out here for the community, for the people. Why is the church hoarding 9 acres of land? Because they want everybody to back up so they can have a church look good. No, I'm going to go get them right here in Georgia. Hold them up to the light and account for that watermark, All right. Woo, I love it when we get on a roll like a fat kid. I'm going to take me to buffet. I love it when I get on a roll. You guys, I love you, and let's be authentic and take a little break and catch me when I come back on. All right? Stay kind, stay out of your mind.